When first getting into Bryan, there's gonna be like 5 things I'm gonna go over. If I remember anything else, though, I'll kind of add it in as I go. But when getting into Bryan, the first thing I want to explain is his game plan. When playing Bryan, you're gonna be a very patient kind of player. Not too patient, but like patient in the way that you don't want to be throwing out big buttons that often. So when I play Bryan, I kind of like you got to really watch what your opponent is doing. See if you can see any flow charts, any tendencies. Do they step this way after this move? Do they step that way after that move? Do they press after this move? That's what you're kind of looking at when you're playing Bryan. You're really paying attention to what your opponent is doing more than what you're doing. You're not trying to force a game plan onto an opponent. You're kind of like you're seeing what your opponent is doing and you're basing your game plan off of that. So any basic kind of game plan you want to use with Bryan is you want to be using a lot of pokes. So Bryan's pokes aren't they're good, but they're not great. Like there are some great ones, but they're mostly good. And you want to be using those a lot when you're fighting because that's how you get into Bryan's main game plan, which is counter hits. Obviously, you want to be looking for the counter hit, and that's why you want to be patient. You want to be using your pokes because you want to try to catch what your opponent is doing, or you want to try to annoy them with your pokes so that they press into your counter hit button. So I'm gonna go over some of the main pokes he has, and I'm gonna kind of rate them based off like how much you should be using them. So jab, 10 out of 10. You should be always using that. Jab is one of his, if not the most crucial move Bryan has in his kit. Jab is a great button to use when you're just, you just want to put a button out. It could be used for keep out. It could be used to start your offense. And it's just a good button. You're +8, even 1-2. 1-2 is also +8. So you can kind of, if you get a hit off that from their movement or from them trying to press something, you could kind of get a little bit greedy after that, or you could just use it to go into your game plan. So jab is a good button to be using a lot. Even 1-4 to contain your opponent, you know what I'm saying? Keep them from moving too much. I'm gonna get into his strings a little bit later, but jab is a very good button for Bryan. Next poke I'm gonna talk about is down forward 2. Down forward 2 is a decent button. It has good tracking to the right, I believe, but bad tracking to the left. So let's do boom. Okay, no, it tracks left, but it doesn't track right. So right. So it tracks left. So that's you want to catch people stepping to the left a lot kind of button. Right. So, and also obviously it has its extensions. You got down forward 1-3, down forward 2-3. Got down forward 2-1. Down forward 2-1 is if you want to catch the opponent stepping left a lot, you just throw that out to get some extra damage. Down forward 2-1 also you can go into sway out of it. So you got your sway options after that, which is cannonball right. You got your tracking mid. 2-4, you're tracking mid. You got your hatchet out of it, and then you have your launching soccer kick. Your down forward 2-3 is a mid that counter hits and can be delayable. So you can go immediately. It is -13. or you can delay it a slight bit. You can't delay it crazy on this one, like you could do some of the other moves, but it has a slight bit of delay that'll give you a launch. I would say down forward 2 is like a 8 out of 10 poke. Because it has its extensions, it's pretty good, but as its own thing, it's just, you know, it's just a poke. +5 on hit, -6 on block. It's a decent poke. Your next poke is going to be down 2. Down 2 is a 14 frame startup mid. That's +8 on block, -2 on hit. This is a very good poke. Reason why? Everybody gets caught by that. Almost everybody gets caught by that move unless you're in high ranks and you're playing against a very patient player. But even in high ranks, this will catch a decent amount of people, especially if you're just using down 2 a lot to set them up, and then you just, you know, rip it one time. This catches a lot of people. It gives me a lot of mileage in my games. So this, I would say down 2 is probably like 9 out of 10 poke for Bryan. The second hit out of this is -10, so you can be punished out of it. So you don't want to just be ripping this like it's nothing. But other than that, it's pretty good. The next one I want to do is down forward 1. This is a good one. It has a 5-hit string. Now, down forward 1, after the first hit, because the first down forward 1 is -5, but after that, it becomes -10. So it can be punished, but it also has the benefit of being fully bufferable, I guess you could say, where you can delay each button, and after that, the next button will combo. So let me after every button, it still combos. Even if, now you can delay it a little too long to where it would stop comboing, like right there, which is why you want to kind of gain a pattern using down forward 1. And also down forward 1 tracks to the right, to Bryan's right. So it more so tracks to the right than to the left. We mainly use it, Bryan players mainly use it to track to the right. But you kind of want to get a pattern when using it. There's 2 different patterns that I use. You can do delay. You could do the first hit and then delay and then double hit the last 2 like that, or you can do like that to be able to hit confirm it. So when I like to do the 2 in the middle, so 1 and then 1 and then 1 2 like that to hit confirm it. Because when you do the last button, you cannot delay the last button, the 2 at the end. You have to rip it, basically. So if you don't get the read right, you can get punished pretty bad, I believe. Yeah, it's -15. You could get launched with pretty much every character. So you want to be careful when you're ripping it, because you cannot delay the last 2. You have to rip the 2. So you want to, and then like that to be able to hit confirm it, because like that you'll be able to see in the middle if they didn't block or if they tried to press something, so you can hit confirm it. You can see, you have enough time to see be able to rip the last 1 2 at the end like that. So down forward 1 is a pretty good button too. Pretty good for containing, pretty good for annoying your opponent, because you can create a false pattern. And let's say you rip 4 and they're punishing you like almost every time, just fucking full send that last button. Because if they're going to punish every time on the 4th hit, you're going to catch them on that last one, but I would only use it in a, you know, end of the round kind of like read type of thing, where you've been noticing they wait till the fourth down forward one to try to punish. But other than that, down forward one, I would give down forward one maybe a probably a 7 to 8 out of 10, because it's also good. Yeah, probably an 8 out of 10, because it's fully hit confirmable. Every hit is delayable except for the last one, and it's good for, you know, annoying your opponent. The next one, the next poke I want to talk about for Bryan is down four. Oops, down four. Down four is a 10 out of 10 low. Honestly, you can't get much better than this for neutral lows. It's 0 on block. It's neutral. Tracks both ways and gives you a little bit of distance out of every hit. On block, I believe it's only minus 10 or 11. Minus 11. So it is minus 11 on block. Neutral on hit. Tracks both ways. And that's, you know, this you should be using a lot. Kind of the same as your jab, but maybe a little bit less. Because it tracks both ways, does a decent amount of damage, pushes your opponent back, and it's neutral on block. So it's very good to just throw it out there, just to kind of make them afraid of the lows. You know, slowly, out of a certain amount of time, these lows are gonna add up. You know, you want to kind of get them to want to block low, to where you can get some other buttons in. So this is a very good button for making them kind of afraid of the lows. The next poke I want to talk about is his down forward 3. A down forward 3 is I'll give this probably a 9 out of 10. It's a high evading low. That's minus 1 on block, minus 12 on hit. This should be throwing out just as much as down forward, down forward. It's a good low. I like to throw it out back to back, because when you throw it out back to back and you step after the last one, people like to kind of press after that, because like they'd be like, you know, oh shit, I'm taking too many lows, I need to do something. And I would step after it. But if they're just not doing nothing after your steps, bro, just fucking keep ripping it, because it's high evading. So a lot of moves are gonna whiff if your opponent tries to do them. And you can go into your while standing 3 counter hit launcher. You can rip the second one if they are punishing your first while standing 3. You can rip while standing 3 4. They're both minus 10, so while standing 1 is minus 10, and while standing 3 is minus 10, and then while standing 3 4 is minus 10. So it might be, you know, kind of worthwhile to throw it out just because it's only minus 10, right? Kind of tracks to the right, as you can see, but does not track to the left at all. You can also do, you know, just 4 after. That'll track to the left. I don't know if it'll track to the right. Won't track to the right. So while standing 3 will track to the right. While standing 4 will track to the left. You can also do while standing 1 out of it. I wouldn't rip this. This is minus 14, I believe. Yeah, it's minus 14. And then, sorry. Obviously, you could do Fisherman Slam after as well. With Snake Eyes, you can mix with his wild crouching down forward 3. his new low. You can mix Fisherman Slam with that, or you can even mix While Standing 1 with that, because they might duck. But and if you don't have Snake Eyes, I wouldn't really throw out Fisherman or While Standing 1. I'll just stick with either down back 3 into down back 3. You can throw this out every once in a while. Throwing this out is pretty good. Or you could just, back up, see what they do. I believe that's all of his pokes. You can kind of throw 1+2 in there, but this is more of a homing option for Bryan. It's not really a poke because it is 17 frames. It's the same as down forward 2, where it has a mid extension and a high extension, and the high extension goes into sway. So you can kind of use this as a kind of step read. If you know your opponent's gonna step after they do something or after you do something, you can throw this out. You can throw down 1+2 1 if you want to stay safe, because it's only -1. 1+2 2 is -14. The mid is -14. So you can throw this out, just to be safe. It is a high, so you can be ducked. But I like to just, I don't usually use that as a poke. I use that as a read on a step. So those are all his pokes. You got his jab, his 1-2, down forward 2, down forward 1, down forward, down back 3. Those are his main pokes that you want to be using to annoy your opponent. I didn't add this in my notes, but I'm gonna go over the strings on those pokes as well, because some of those strings have either follow-ups or counter hit launchers. So obviously, 1-2-1, it's -6 on block, can be delayed, heavily delayed, and the last hit is a counter hit launcher. That's not one, right? Get a full combo off of this. Another counter hit launcher, like I told you before, is down forward 2 3, right? Gives you a full launch. Down 2 3, also heavily delayable. This gets a lot of people. Far as strings that counter hit launch, those are the main ones. Another string you can use is 1-4-3, because this is that's Bryan's 10 hit. The 10 frame punish, right? So, and the third hit can slightly be delayed, right? And then you can also do 3-3, 1-4-3-3. And the last hit to this is does knock down as a counter hit. So you could get a follow up off that. Right, get soccer kick after that. But you want to be using just the 3 if you're gonna use it, because the last hit is a high. I get a lot of people that do that, where I do 1-4 and to delay the 3-3, and it hits them a good amount, because they don't really think you're gonna press anything after 1-4 because it's this punish. And I'll get that, and that's +7, so you can run up, do something else, start up your tiny bit of pressure a little bit. But you have that. You have this, which is a counter hit launcher as well. 1-4, 1-4-2. All right, that's a counter hit launcher. It is a high, so a lot of people tend to duck. That's also why you want to use 3, because people like to duck that because it's a counter hit launcher and it's a high. So a lot of people will duck that, so you can throw in a 3 in there because it's a mid to, you know, kind of like mix them up a little bit, you know, a slight mix up. But far of it, that's why his jab is so good, because right, because you got 1, 1, 2, 1, 4, and then his 1, 4 extensions, right? You know, just to, you know, catch him trying to do something. Catch him either trying to duck, trying to move, trying to mash, you know what I'm saying? All right, now really quick, I want to get into Bryan's Snake Eyes moves. He has 5 Snake Eye moves that out of Snake Eyes that either gives him new moves or charges up his old moves. So the first one I want to go over is his forward 2-1 string, for 2-1-2-3-2. This is a very good string for the tracking, for the damage, and also for the frames. When you just do the first 3, you're only -2, and you can delay it a little bit. You can also delay the third hit, and that's only -3. The last hit is kind of like Bryan's down forward 1 string, where the last hit, button of the string, you have to rip it. So you can't delay the last hit, you just gotta rip it. But the second and the third, the third and the fourth hit are delayable, and they're only -2. They did nerf the tracking from season 1. It only tracks to Bryan's right now. It won't track to his left. For me, I like to use it after, you know, either a heat burst or heat engager. So that's the 1-2-1 string. The 2-1-2, the forward 2-1-2 string. The next string I want to go over is his wall ender, which is up forward 2-2-2-3. Usually this is only used for his wall combo, but it can be used in the neutral because the string has some tracking on it. Some people have been throwing it out to catch people trying to step after heat burst. Right. So that was sidewalk left. This is sidewalk right. It'll still catch if they sidewalk for too long. So usually it's only used for wall enders, but can be used in the neutral for some tracking. The next string I want to go over is his 3+4-2, his beefed up 3+4 basically. They did nerf this string recently to where it doesn't wall splat anymore on normal hit, or on counter hit, I believe. So it only wall splats on full charge. There have been some Bryans that found out you can combo at the wall from a certain distance from the non-charged version, but it's very like hard to get and very situational. So I wouldn't recommend really trying it. I only use it at the wall still, just to threaten the charge, because now you can partially charge it, right? After a certain threshold, you are going to get the full charge, but you can slightly charge it now instead of it just being either regular or full charge. So that's his 3+4-2 string. Another Snake Eyes move he has is forward 1+2. This is a good move for damage. It's a good move for people trying to step to Bryan's right. And it's also a reversal. So if I have Kazuya So if I do jab, if I time it right, I get a reversal. I believe this works for kicks as well. Let me double check though. Yep. It also works for kicks. It's not a punch parry like his usual like parry is. It's a reversal, so it can work on pretty much any move. It can work on heat bursts. I think the only thing it can't work on is rage arts, and I believe power crushes. Sorry, never mind. It does work on power crushes. So yeah, I think the only thing it doesn't work on is like heat smashes and rage arts. So this is also a good move to throw out when you're getting pressured and you have snake eyes. You can throw it out and hopefully get a reversal. Now his new season 2 moves, his back 1+2 and his wild crouch down forward 3. These are his new moves he got for season 2 out of Snake Eyes. This move is not really that good anymore. It was good when season 2 first dropped, but they did nerf this move. It basically has no tracking. It's a 20 frame startup that doesn't have that much range on the first hit. Right? Second hit has some decent range, but the first hit basically has no distance on it. It is +4. They did, I guess you could call it a nerf. They did make it to where if you do this move, you are forced into crouching. You can't pick if you want to stand or crouch anymore. So if you do get a hit on it, the follow-up you could do is like there, wild crouch down forward 4. Or if you're fast enough, you can do it. You can sidestep cancel and get a QCF 1+2. Like that. I don't use this move basically at all. His other Snake Eyes moves are way better than this. It does wall splat. I will give it that. But, you know, other than that, I don't really find much use to this move. Other than, you know, if they're standing still, you can put plus frames on them. But I don't really want to use my Snake Eyes for something like that when I have other moves that do that. I'd rather keep my Snake Eyes for a better string or a better button. Now his last one is the wild crouch down forward 3. This is a low out of wild crouch. It's basically a hatchet out of crouching. This move can be used in the neutral a little bit. It is -13. And then they also nerfed it to where it can be low parried, because it used to not be able to be low parried. And then it doesn't wall splat on counter hit at the wall anymore. So it's basically just a wild crouch hatchet. So you can only do it out of back 3. And then obviously you've seen every Bryan for season 2 start to use this as a wild crouch mix up out of a heat engager. So when you do your heat engager, you can hold down, threaten this, or hold down and threaten a launch. There is a way you can do it instantly. The input is hard though. You have to basically do a slither step, instantly cancel it with a down back, and then do a wild crouch down forward 4. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like. That's the fastest I can get it. If you're good with your speed, you can get it way faster than that, where it's basically instant. But it is a hard input to do. So those are all his Snake Eyes buttons and strings, and how I find the uses for it. Um, it is a very good install. I would try to get it as much as you can, either in a neutral or in your combos. You know, do a combo that's going to give you Snake Eyes. In the neutral, you can find ways to give you yourself Snake Eyes. But you know, he has some very good buttons out of his Snake Eyes. Now I'm gonna go into his big buttons and his counter hits. Bryan has obviously a lot of counter hits, not too many big buttons. The only real decent big buttons is back one, which is not really, it's good, but it's not that good because it can be stepped either way. So it doesn't have that much tracking. It has a tad bit of tracking to the right, but it has no tracking to the left. So this is basically just, you know, to get plus frames out. You also have a frame trap out of it, which is down forward 2 or down 2. Obviously both options can be stepped. If you're noticing they're stepping after your frame trap, you can throw out 1+2. Or if they're not stepping, you know, just throw out the frame trap. Keep, you know, going with your offense. But if you're noticing that they're stepping after back one, just throw out 1+2. And if you have your read, you could throw out 1+2 too. Another one of his counter hit launchers and his big buttons, obviously, cannonball right. This is a very good button. Probably one of the best buttons in his kit. Right? QCF1, 13 frame startup, +5 on block. This also has the same frame traps as back one, which is down 2 or down forward 2. It is a high, so don't throw it out too much because people will duck it. But you should be throwing this out a good amount, you know, just to, you know, get some plus frames on them for them to, you know, not be pressing too much. And obviously it's a counter hit launcher. You got his 3+4. This is a good button. It's -13 on block. Counter hit launcher. This one I throw out when I feel like they're, you know, trying to rush me down. You know, this is a keep out tool, but you know, it's good for, you know, you're trying to back up, they keep running up on you. Eventually you'll get some distance and they'll try to run up on you again to try to continue their offense. You just throw out 3+4. And that's a counter hit launch. This one, you don't want to be throwing out. I would say you want to be throwing out QCF1 the most. Then maybe a little bit of 3+4, and then maybe a little bit of back one after that. I would use more 3+4 than back one, just because it's faster and it's a keep out tool. This is not really a keep out tool. This is a putting plus frames on your opponent type of tool. This is a keep out tool. In neutral, you can also throw out QCF3, counter hit launcher, -10 obviously. When you throw it out in the neutral, some people don't tend to react fast enough for the punish, especially if you do it fast enough. But when you get people usually you use QCF3 in the neutral when people are disrespecting their own frame. So if they're trying to rush you down, put plus frames on you, and then they're putting frames on you, but they're not frame trapping it, you can sometimes throw this out to launch them. Oh, I almost forgot about this. This is a very good move as well. Uh, it is a 16 frame startup, mid, 0 on block, but depending on distance, it can either be +2 or +1. So you can kind of like knowledge check people with this because most people know this to being neutral on block. So sometimes they might just try to throw out a jab in case you try to do something after. But if if you space it out right, you can kind of like either you can either lock them down by using 1-4 if you feel like they're gonna press, or if you know they're gonna press, you can throw out 1-2-4, which is his heat engager. I believe this has a little bit of tracking, but not crazy tracking. Yeah, right. But if you have more plus frames, it will start to track. Uh, I guess it'll only track more to the left. So yeah, if you're +5, it'll pretty much track both ways. But +4, it won't track to the left, but it'll track to the right. Sometimes throwing this out in the neutral is pretty good. You know, just to catch somebody pressing. You know, kind of just staying in their face, right? And just throw it out in case they try to, you know, keep you out or just press something to, you know, get you from staying in their face. You know, you just throw this out. You can use it after back one, right? To see if they press. It's not a frame trap, but if they use something that's not 10 frames, it can counter hit. 10 or 11 frames, it'll either trade or counter hit, which both of them will give you a launcher. So yeah, those are his counter hit tools. You got back one, QCF one, 3+4, and then forward 3. Now I want to get into Bryan's combos. For Bryan, he has some fairly easy combos, and then he has some kind of hard combos. He has some in between, but I'm gonna go through the easy combos just to start off with. After that, I'm gonna move into some of the optimal combos for, you know, every launcher. So I'm gonna just show you each combo. All right, really quick before I go into all of the taunt options that Bryan has, I want to go over how to kind of implement taunt into your game plan when playing Bryan. Most people know taunt is an unblockable that gives you plus 16, where you can do any move up to 16 frames. Um, the main thing is obviously, at the wall when you do your wall ender, you can get basically another free combo if the opponent tech rolls. If you do kind of use it in the neutral, if you're good enough, you can use it as a threat in the neutral for people who's just, standing still, not doing nothing, basically turtling up. Recently, the best application I've seen of that is a recent match Atif did. I forgot what tourney it was, but he really showed how, afraid you can get your opponent from just being good with taunt in the neutral, to where, you're running up on your opponent, doing taunt dashes, and, you know, when you get to a point where you can taunt jet upper in the neutral, you can get your opponent to start being afraid of it, to where like, oh, he's, running up in my face, he's taunt dashing in my face, I need to do something, and they try to press, and you could just start running up, forward 3 running up, QCF 3 and that can really, enhance your gameplay. Now, taunt is not something that you need as a Bryan player. You can for sure get to God of Destruction without using taunt. But if you get good at taunt, you add taunt into your game plan, you can really elevate your gameplay. So now I'm gonna just show all the options, all the follow-ups you can use with taunt. So this is my Tekken 8 Season 2 Bryan Fury guide. I wanted to put a little of everything in this video so that it can be a full guide for beginners or people looking to pick up a new character. There is some stuff that I left out, like wall splatting moves, other not as important moves, Bryan specialist things. But I wanted to keep this as beginner friendly as I could while still putting some advanced things in. Granted, this is my first Tekken, but I would consider myself maybe a high intermediate or maybe a low advanced player. I got Tekken God last season, as you can see in my banner, but I've only recently gotten Tekken Emperor this season. But I do have a lot of knowledge with the character. If y'all want me to make another video of some more Bryan info or tech, like the stuff I mentioned earlier, let me know in the comments. I'm down to make some more videos. Also, if y'all want me to post some more of my gameplays like I used to, let me know. I only really stream on Twitch now. Come check me out, trying to get God of Destruction this season. But other than that, thank you for watching my guide. Throw me a like if you think it was a good guide or if it was helpful to you, and enjoy the character.